Okay, Demi. Well, thanks for talking to us today. You're a tenant of L&Q, so do you want to tell us about your housing situation? How are things for you?
So things are very difficult for me and my two children. I've got health issues, and so has both of my children. One of them has severe disabilities. The housing issue is just it's in a bad way. We're being neglected. L&Q's duty of care is not being met towards us. We're being refused the appropriate accommodation that we require. There's just a lot going on here with pests and infestations, and there's issues within the property as well. So we have flea infestations because we have an infestation of rats and mice, but the rats are bringing in fleas into my property, which are biting the children. I've had to throw away a lot of my furniture. I'm a single mum. I don't have any support from anybody financially, so I've had to throw out beds, sofas. We slept on the floor for a few weeks until I was able to buy another bed. The fleas literally got in everything that bit the children. Then the bites have caused infections in the kids. They're crawling all over the beds. The rats crawl on the beds as well. We've woken up with rats crawling over us, dead rats in our clothes, where they've obviously ate the poison and dropped down dead in the clothes, and they've been covered in fleas. We've had cockroaches as well. So we've had a really bad infestation of cockroaches as well.
And what have you done in terms of asking L&Q to address the housing problems that you've got, and also what's their response been like?
So I've been trying to get the appropriate accommodation and to fight to get answers and to be listened to and heard to for the past, over nearly 3 years now, coming on to 3 years. I've had panel meetings. I've applied for move on medical grounds. I've provided rock solid evidence from the GPs, from specialists. I've had surveyors turning up at my house. They didn't even ring at one point. They were just showing up to my house. I've gone through every single procedure you can think of with L&Q. All they've done is found a loophole to get out of, to not provide us with the appropriate accommodation that we need. They haven't done any adjustments in the property. I mean, they send pest control, but that's not the root problem. That the problem is the whole house is infested. They're living in the walls, they're living in the vents, in the chimney, breasts. Even the flooding, I can't get into my house when it's flooding. I have to ask passerbys to help me carry my kids to bring them in the house.
Yeah, a horrible situation, yeah.
It's flooded. I have no toilet. I haven't had a toilet for over a week. I told them one of my children has bowel issues, and they're telling us to pee in buckets. It's wrong. Where is their duty of care with this? No matter how much you try and fight. Sorry.
Don't apologise, Demi.
It's just not fair. I've had my kids cry. They don't even want to come home because of the state of it. And I've spent thousands of money that I don't have. I've had to borrow from people to get my house in a way that will be suitable for my kids.
And this wasn't the only option, was it, Demi? There are other properties around that would be suitable, because you've got a disabled daughter. Well, she's got more than one disability, isn't she, your girl? Yeah.
So now I'm thinking about getting her into counselling, because from a little baby, from being born, she's had her legs cast, she's had this done to her legs, that done to her legs. They're even thinking about cutting the back of the legs to pull the tendons up, to stretch them. I mean, she's 8. To go through all of this with rats crawling on you, being bitten constantly, and she sees her mum struggling because we don't have any financial help from anyone. So see her mum throwing the furniture out, fighting with L&Q, trying to get answers from them, and all they keep doing is knocking you back. I mean, I've gone to directors, everybody you can think of I've gone to. I've had mayors involved, solicitors involved, MPs involved, and they've always found a loophole out of it.
Yeah.
You know,
So what they're doing is just trying to get out of providing it. They're not actually genuinely engaging with you, and they're not trying to find a solution that would work for you and for your children. And what impact is this having on your kids, like at school and things like that? Is it, you know, how is it affecting their education as well?
so my youngest one shares the bed with her sister, and her sister's got severe mobility issues. She shares the bed because the room's small. I've only got a 2-bedroom property. So they have to share the bed. And obviously the youngest one can't sleep because the oldest one's uncomfortable at night, in pain, with her boots and bars, you know, so the little one doesn't get any sleep. So I have to put her into my bed. And then I've got upper respiratory disorders, and I've also got sleep apnea, which means I sleep on a breathing machine now for the rest of my life. I've also got other musculoskeletal issues as well. And I'm having to sleep on the floor. So I can give my bed to my daughter, because if she gets in bed with me, they can stop my oxygen pipe. So I'm sleeping on the floor because I've woken up with instances of not being able to breathe because one of the kids have leaned on the pipe. So I'm getting bit to pieces. The kids mentally are just, it's not a home for them. I feel sorry for them. They don't have a home that is safe.
Yeah. And have you looked at other properties in the area that L&Q have? Are the properties that would be big enough in the area?
I mean, I have had a look. I even said to L&Q, my daughter's falling asleep at school. She's sleep deprived because of the situation. You've got numerous properties that you're building. They've just built a brand new complex up in Barking. There's loads of things around here that they're building, but they just don't want to give me a property. And I feel that it's because I've brought so much fight to them to try and get what we need. You know, they've got a personal vendetta towards me now, and I'm being victimized because they've red flagged my name. And they said that I was violent and an aggressive person. I've never, ever been a violent or aggressive person. When I asked for evidence, they said, we don't know what you're talking about. And then all of a sudden, within 24 hours, the red flag was removed from my name.
So you feel you are being victimized because you are trying to get this, what you need for your, you know, the reasonable adjustments that you need that really are your right under the Equality Act. What do you think, what do you think we need to do to try and make sure that the likes of L&Q actually deliver on what they should be delivering? What do you think the answer is?
I think we all need to come together, and I think we need to get involved with organisations such as SHAC, and and come together and voice our opinions. We need to keep fighting these people, these big companies. We're human beings, we're in 2021. This should not be happening. We all need to voice our opinions. We've got to keep campaigning, we've got to keep fighting, we've got to organise ourselves in such a way that they need to know that we're not going to tolerate this anymore. Maybe send them, the document to maybe withhold your rent, maybe get involved in more action groups, organise more things amongst ourselves. We need to have our voices heard, and they need to realise that just because they're a multi-million-pound company, we're not millionaires, we're ordinary people, and we're just fighting for the right to survive and have a healthy home, that meets environmental health standards, that meets English law. They can't keep getting away with this.
Yeah. Very good, Demi. Thank you for telling your story to SHAC. Thank you.